All right, so I'm here to give right now, giving a brief update, as Angel mentioned, on the current state of the strategic initiatives, in large part to help set the stage for many of the presentations and breakouts that are going to follow today and tomorrow throughout this meeting. So first, I'll start by reiterating the future that we outlined in the strategic roadmap document last year, and that is for W3C to be the trusted gathering place for far-seeing technical experts and advocates about and for the web, and create a space where every company, government, NGO, and individual can gather, where they'll be respected, safe, heard, and can contribute to the growth and health of the web, and ideally foster innovation of a web that is safe, accessible, and open to all. I've included a link there which is where all the initiatives are providing monthly updates on their activities. But I'll go through a little bit of basically where we are now and the progress that we're making towards that vision of the future. So I'll start with the Structural Evolution Initiative, which is about how we're structured to accomplish our mission and vision. This initiative has a fairly broad remit and initially led to some wide-ranging discussions in the task force as they got started. But currently, they've been narrowing the focus to the concept of open source at W3C, which is a pretty big topic for us, and there's going to be presentation and discussion on this topic during this week at the AC meeting. The next initiative is the impact framework, and this is really about being more deliberate about the impact of our mission and vision, of being able to define it and measure it and have it really help drive our work and our strategy forward. So the task force for this has drafted a preliminary set of impact statements and has received some initial round of feedback. So there's a workshop this week as well to gain more feedback from the community. Next is the stakeholder outreach strategy, which is really looking at all the different kinds of stakeholders that are in our ecosystem or could be in our ecosystem, and to start prioritizing how we might engage with them. So far, this task force has done a bit. They've modeled our ecosystem, they've drafted priorities, they've established a framework for value proposition and for looking at feedback on that. There's a breakout session this week for this as well to solicit more input from you all on our global presence and on these outreach efforts. Initiative is the technology strategy. This is really about helping make sure we can adapt to newly emerging technologies that are web technologies or web adjacent, and that we get engaged appropriately. And so far, a preliminary set of criteria has been crafted for evaluating emerging technologies in terms of whether or not there's something we should get more engaged in. The strategy team is working with the TAG to start establishing a cadence for talking about these kind of things. More specifically, this week, we're also going to have panels on a couple key technologies, agentic AI and digital wallets. And then the last initiative is policy engagement. And this is really about making sure that we get engaged in appropriate discussions with policymakers, with regulatory bodies around the world to help make sure our standards and our vision for a single interoperable worldwide web are represented. A lot of the work so far has been about relationship building and engaging in various workshops and discussions with other communities around the globe. And we have a breakout session this week as well to talk about policymakers and the regulatory landscape. And so a little bit about what's next. Basically, even as we're working on these things, we're going to be gathering and synthesizing feedback from the sessions this week. This is going to help direct some of the next steps, including preparing to what I referred to previously as the second horizon, or Horizon 2. We're getting, this year, we're going to be getting soon near the end of some of these initial efforts of these initiatives, and we're going to see a couple things, including the impact framework evolving to become really a core driver to all the strategic work, and defining more tangible objectives to some of the other initiatives as well to drive the next wave of initiative activities. I'll close by saying that what I said last year, our work remains more vital than ever in the face of ongoing change and increasing isolationism and siloization. We've had some challenges and risks. We've been making some good progress in some of these areas, which I'll talk about tomorrow. And with that, I will conclude. Thank you very much, and I will hand it over. I believe we have our sponsor talk next, so thank you very much.